SpaceX is racing to conduct the next test flight of its incredibly advanced Starship space ark designed to shuttle humans to a terraformed Mars, even as the specter of nuclear war spreads its shadows across the Earth. After Moscow's ambassador to Washington personally warned him that use of the SpaceX satellite system by Ukraine's democratic resistance to Russia's invasion could spark the Kremlin to respond with tactical nuclear weapons, Elon Musk has been stepping up tests of the Starship spacecraft, as if he is trying to outpace an atomic time bomb. Musk told his hand-picked biographer, Walter Isaacson, that Ambassador Anatoly Antonov had directly threatened him that Moscow would repel any Ukrainian assault on occupied Crimea, where the Kremlin's Black Sea Fleet is headquartered, with nuclear arms. Even as Musk engaged in shuttle diplomacy with Antonov and with Ukraine's leadership to avert any nuclear battlefront, the commander of the SpaceX Starship project has doubled down on the supercapsule's development. While his plan A is to foster the peaceful sphere of spaceflight to the International Space Station, carrying NASA, Allied and Roscosmos astronauts to the outpost aboard his Dragon spacecraft, Musk also has an interplanetary plan B, creating a second foundation for human civilization on weapons-free Mars, far from the atomic missile silos positioned across the northern hemisphere of the Earth. The creator of SpaceX, the globe's first independent space superpower, sketched out his vision of Mars as an off-world sanctuary during a fantastical overview he presented recently at his Starbase Launch Center, the massive rocket skunk works he's expanding at bullet speed right off the turquoise seas of the Gulf of Mexico. Musk said the following as if he were describing a movie he played over and over in his head. As the shadow of war darkens Earth's fate, the urgency of making life multiplanetary is high. The company's overall goal is to sustainably expand life to another planet before World War III. I'm obviously not talking about abandoning Earth or anything like that, and we're on Earth. We want Mars to be as good as possible for as long as possible. But there are some things that can happen out of our control, so we want Mars to be a self-sustaining civilization as quickly as possible. So why are we establishing a base on Mars instead of the Moon? Even an advanced lunar colony might not survive as a refuge for humanity, Musk said, because nuclear warriors back on Earth would probably throw a few nukes at the Moon. Hitting Mars with a nuclear weapon is much more difficult. Mars will see this coming and will probably have some time to intercept the incoming missiles. Around the same time that Vladimir Putin's emissary to Washington issued the ultimatum to Musk on the use of atomic arms in Ukraine, another Kremlin lieutenant began threatening at UN gatherings to shoot down SpaceX Starlink satellites that are beaming broadband internet coverage into the occupied democracy. With its ongoing blitzkrieg on Ukraine's telecommunications and internet infrastructure, Russia has been trying to imprison the entire country inside a new Iron Curtain. But Musk's rushing Starlink terminals into Ukraine, just days after Russian tanks crashed across the border, has defeated the drive to isolate Kyiv. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's enhanced ability via Starlink to stage high-tech virtual summits with President Joe Biden and other leaders of the Western free world has infuriated the Kremlin's autocrats, and they have unleashed their most advanced weapons systems to target Starlink terminals across Ukraine. Moscow's state-run TASS news agency has reported the deployment of Russian fighter bombers and missile systems to destroy Starlink transceivers being used along the front lines of the conflict. The Kremlin is also preparing to extend its brinkmanship in the heavens by stationing a nuclear-armed spacecraft in orbit designed to perpetually circle the Earth and face off the satellites of NATO nations aiding Ukraine. That might be setting the stage for a showdown between Russian and Allied anti-satellite missiles, which in turn could spark a wider conflict, say defense experts across American universities and think tanks. While some critics have derived Elon Musk's visionary blueprints to transform Mars into a second world sanctum for Homo sapiens, SpaceX's designer-inventor is not alone in proposing that celestial settlements could protect humanity's future, even if the home planet is destroyed via nuclear warfare. World-famous astrophysicist Stephen Hawking made the following warning about the Third World War in one of his last interviews with the BBC. We face a number of threats to our survival from nuclear war, catastrophic global warming, and genetically engineered viruses. Although the chance of a disaster to planet Earth in a given year may be quite low, it adds up over time and becomes a near certainty in the next 1,000 or 10,000 years. Yet Professor Hawking, author of the global blockbuster book A Brief History of Time, tempered his doomsday message by stating, "By that time, we should have spread out into space and to other stars, so a disaster on Earth would not mean the end of the human race." While outlining his prophecy, Hawking said it could take up to a century to begin establishing independent colonies in space. But Musk has proposed creating a self-sustaining civilization on Mars within just 20 years via flotillas of Starship arcs that depart Earth every 2 years when the planets are optimally aligned. Each Starship will accommodate 100 settlers, and 10,000 flights will foster a flourishing SpaceX cosmopolis of 1 million first-generation Martians. You know, the giant Starship factory that we're building is obviously key to that, Musk said during the Starbase talk. And the launch sites that we're building here and at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station and elsewhere in the future will be key to that. The next generation technology, colossal size, high-speed evolution, and full reusability of the Starship all represent a planet-changing revolution in spaceflight. One that will be chronicled in history books for centuries into the future, says Professor Kip Hodges, the founding director of the School of Earth and Space Exploration at Arizona State University, one of the leading American space studies centers. Professor Hodges says the first wave of astronauts will live indoors and conduct research on Starship outposts that have begun crisscrossing the orange-red sand dunes of Mars. In cinematic artists' impressions that SpaceX has released of its cosmopolitan Martian oasis, glowing Starship arcs are positioned like colossal lighthouses, standing sentinel over an idyllic city enclosed in a crystalline geodesic dome. Although Elon Musk hasn't yet outlined any scheme to secure the interplanetary future of birds and giraffes, dolphins and Dalmatians, by transporting genetic samplings of every species known to Earth aboard his arcs, he has set out a master plan to transfigure the now frozen red planet into a vibrant new Proto-Eden. We can warm up Mars and we can densify the atmosphere, he predicted during the spellbinding Starbase talk. There would be a liquid ocean on about 40% of the surface, so we could make it an Earth-like planet long-term. In an interview with Tim Wright, treaty coordinator of the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons, the group that won the 2017 Nobel Peace Prize for its central role in promulgating the UN Charter, a friend told me that thousands of warheads are still in missile silos and submarines ready to be launched at any time. He said he was found. Such a thermonuclear war could render much of the Earth permanently uninhabitable. By joining the worldwide effort to eliminate nuclear weapons, Wright says the SpaceX founder could help prevent the atomic apocalypse he has already predicted and save the world's 8 billion citizens. Wright, the founder of SpaceX with his immense wealth and influence, currently has 184.9 million followers on Twitter. He adds that Elon Musk could add incredible momentum to the global movement to remove nuclear weapons from the face of the Earth. I don't think the Third World War will happen on a state basis, because each opposing side is afraid of a secret weapon in the hands of the other and wants peace. But that's a different story when some crazy person creates havoc because he wants war. In addition, whether there is a World War III or not, humankind should of course set its sights on Mars and space due to limited world resources. Don't forget to express your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.